Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How is it going? My name is Endeavorance. It is Wednesday. What month? It's October. It's Wednesday, October 23rd? 22nd. I was so close. Oh my God. There's a year in there somewhere. I'm getting poked under the desk by a dog. Let's give the dog a treat and then we will start the stream in earnest. I hope you're all having a great morning. I hope it's about to get a lot better because the dog is about to get a treat. So. So there you go. There you go. We're down to the dregs of this particular bag of treats. So we're gonna have to get some new treats here soon, lest the dog go treatless, which is not gonna happen. Not going to happen. Hello, everybody. How are we doing? You better give him more treaties. He has so many, they're just not in this room. And I've been going through that bag, and that bag was the out here treats. So, you know, now we're gonna have to go get some new ones. He's back under the desk. Hold on. You're gonna be able to get a preview of my wonderful cable management again. Hold on.
Subscription. Thank you for that.
Hello? Hello? My shit's broken. Already. How did that happen? What? Did we lose? We lost. Hold on. We lost the dog cam. Oh no. Oh no. Hold on. We lost the dog cam. This is bad. Wait. Oh shit. Hold on. I think I fixed it. The dog's destroying everything while I'm trying to fix it. There we go. So this is the dog destroying everything. As you can see. That's supposed to be a footrest, but it is no longer a footrest. Sorry I destroyed the stream momentarily. It's because the dog. The dog is chaos. I can't fix the... Is that better? Perfect. Wonderful. Excellent spot there, bud. Really happy for you. So we can start the stream? Maybe now? Ollie, thank you for the donated sub to the community. Wonderful. How dare you blame that angel? I'm sorry. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. In fact, I have a picture I wanted to show you. Let me pull this up. If we can get somebody else in the studio to pull up this photo real quick. Wait. This was the Flynn this morning. So he was indeed among the snuggest I've ever seen him. Like extremely smug, right? Or snug, right? Here's the aerial view. There we go. There's the aerial view. So it was a tight croissant, a very tight croissant in this particular scenario. So I had to get it documented for you know, all y'all to enjoy. Now I gotta be responsible for these fucking OBS sources. Get out of my way. Okay. And Nitro Nick, 3 months. Why do I feel like it's been longer than 3 months? He curl up so small and so perfect. He really do curl up so small and so perfect. Cat of Supernova. It's a lot. Cute aggression overload, says Lord Rose. Yeah, it's. We were looking this up recently, right? The cuteness aggression thing about how like it just makes you want to like eat cute stuff. Baked to perfection. Absolutely. Absolutely. This dog is baked to perfection. Me too. Haha. Like weed. Anyway, no blanket for the dog monster. He has a blanket. It's right there on his dedicated bed, which is literally monogrammed with his name on it and has his toys on it. But he's choosing, instead of the like orthopedic bed with raised sides and maybe he heard my criticism. Maybe he's considering my proposal. Oh, he is. Perfect. Incredible. He's even laying on his toy. Look at that. Look at that. He's laying on top of his toy, on top of his blanket, on top of his memory foam bed. This dog has a better sleeping setup than I do, honestly. And I have like chronic insomnia. I'm supposed to have a really good bed setup, a really good sleep setup. And instead it all goes to this dog. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way, honestly. Just a snuggly little boy. He's nothing if not constant. Oh, emergency foot lick. Apparently, he's nothing if not constantly cozy. EP baby, very EP, very baby. Honestly, so photogenic. I don't know. I don't think I have a bad picture of this dog, but that's also because even when he's being a goof, that's better pictures. Dev, you should get one of those plush beds made big enough for one human and one dog. I want to have a hammer that I can just hit myself over the head with and fall asleep. That's the sleeping situation I need, is a hammer of good sleep to be able to just knock myself out. That's the actual sleep paraphernalia I need. Basically a human dog bed. You're really licking there, bud. He's not even licking the balls. He's just like licking the inside of his haunch. Is it tasty? Can I get some of that? Damn. The bonk of good dreams. Oh, what's that? Just my EP bonk stick. Sometimes if you need to fall asleep and it's not working, sometimes you just gotta go to Home Depot and find yourself a good hammer. That's all I'm saying. Don't do that. Don't do that. Here's my real like journey through navigating insomnia. For a little while, I was using alcohol. Not a good idea. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't use alcohol to fall asleep. Bad idea. Does not get you good sleep and will fuck your body up real bad. And the amount that you need to like make yourself fall asleep is enough to make your body not do okay. So don't use alcohol if you don't absolutely have nothing else. And then I went to the doctor because I hadn't slept for 5 days. I think. Somewhere around there. And the doctor was like, holy shit. And so the doctor threw a bunch of Ambien down my throat. And I got off of that as quickly as I could because Ambien is crazy. If you've never taken Ambien before, it's essentially like just, it knocks you the hell out into a dreamless black sleep. And oh God. I distinctly recall taking Ambien for the first time, laying in bed, reading a book, just trying to like wait till I could like get sleepy enough to fall asleep. And I noticed that the letters on the page were melting off the page. And I was like, I am not supposed to be awake right now. I am not supposed to be conscious in this moment. I'm pretty sure. So I've put the book down and went to bed. It was not good. I got off of it pretty much fucking immediately, and I now just use cannabis. Like that's the only thing that's really consistently helped at this point, with like minimal side effects. It definitely has side effects, but relatively minimal. I would recommend to anyone out there who has like really, really bad insomnia, the first thing to do is accept the fact that that's what's going on. Like, just accept it. Accept that you're not going to be sleeping well. Accept that you're not going to be able to just make yourself fall asleep. That's never happening for you. And if it does in the future, excellent. But the sooner that you can kind of come to terms with, like, this is a thing I need to focus on and work with now, the sooner you can actually work past not ever fucking falling asleep. It really just takes long-term focus on trying to be good to yourself about sleep. And it's not a silver bullet. Like, I still go through bouts of having terrible sleep because, like, I have bad sleep, which leads to bad sleep. Like, I didn't sleep well, so I can barely stay awake. So I'm taking naps so I don't sleep well. And it's just a self-fulfilling cycle. Also, for everyone who doesn't have insomnia, if you don't have insomnia, like, if you haven't gone to the hospital because you're like, I am having really dangerous thoughts because of how long I've been awake. If that's not you, and someone says, yes, I have insomnia to you, do not suggest that they try melatonin. Please, I am begging you. Do not suggest to an insomniac that they try melatonin. That's like suggesting to a depressed person that they try smiling. That's like suggesting to an anxious person that they try just calming down a bit. Like, saying, have you tried melatonin is like, that is step 0 of the things to try when you have insomnia. They have tried it. It didn't work. That is why they have a problem. They almost definitely have tried that. That is not a that's not a rare thing. It is available at every single pharmacy, and it's like, get better sleep. Like, that is like the 0th line of defense. Also, it's not how melatonin works. If you take melatonin and it helps you fall asleep, that's really great. I'm really happy for you. That's a placebo effect. I'm sorry to tell you that. If it's still working, it's still working. But that's not how melatonin works. Taking a melatonin pill doesn't make you sleepy. That's just not how it works. That doesn't mean it's not necessarily affecting you, and that doesn't mean that it's not helping you. And it certainly is a bit of like a comfort blanket of a pill, but it is not a sleeping pill, to be clear. But yeah, the number of people that have told me to try melatonin when I'm like, yeah, I went to the fucking hospital because I wanted to end my life because I didn't sleep for 5 days. And they're like, well, have you tried melatonin? I'm like, I must not have thought of that. So that's me and my insomnia. How are you doing today? These days, I'm doing a lot better in general. Melatonin makes me way more likely to have sleep paralysis. Yeah, melatonin can kind of fuck with the way your body interacts with sleep, but it's not like, melatonin is a precursor to EP. It's not, it doesn't just like make you EP. It's like a thing that your body releases to start making EP happen in a little while. These are the kind of, like, I've been going to therapy for it for a long time. I started going to a therapist specifically to tackle insomnia through like cognitive behavioral therapy. And I've learned a lot about sleep. And here's the truth about sleep. It's terrible. Don't sleep ever. It's bad for you. Sleep all the time. It's really good for you. It's really, really complex. And there's so much going on. And we understand a good bit of it, but we also don't know a lot. But honestly, I would not wish insomnia on anyone. Like for real insomnia. There's being a night owl, and then there's I can't sleep. Because like the kind of insomnia that I have is like a sleep anxiety insomnia. I'm anxious about getting to sleep, which is keeping me awake, which is causing me to have more anxiety about not falling asleep, which is triggering my adrenaline, which is making me anxious, which loop forever. And unless I can cut that cycle somehow, I'm not sleeping. And so like it's all about kind of like I said, coming to terms with it and knowing what you're working with, understanding your own body, and like being okay with what it means. Speaking of things people want to say dumb shit about, I sat down last night and sprained my ankle because EDS. This came up before. EDS. It's this is like the thing that like a bunch of neurodivergent people have. Is that the hyperflexibility thing?
Going up.
This came up on stream recently, and I got dunked on for not knowing what it was. So I'm going to assume that it stands for electromagnetic pulse, like an EMP, but EDS. So, you know. Erectile dysfunction super. Thank you. Thank you so much. That really helps, Kev. That definitely clarifies it from all of the other ED that's going on in this stream. Hello, Hardly Mythical. Says popping in after the usual 3 to 4 a.m. wake up. Hope you all have a wonderful stream. Well, thanks for popping in. Welcome to the 3 to 4 a.m. time, wherever you are. Enjoy dark. Enjoy the not sun, presumably. Here we go with ED again. Look, this is just an ED-centric stream. What can I say? Most doctors don't know what EDS is either, if it makes you feel better. Most doctors use stethoscopes, and I don't trust that. I don't trust that they're doing anything there. My mom was a nurse. I didn't wear my mom. My mom was a nurse, and she had a stethoscope. And when I was a child, I would not infrequently put that bitch on and listen to things. They're lying to you. They're not hearing anything. They're not hearing shit. They just want to make you feel cold on your back. They're like, hey, I just took this stethoscope out of the freezer. Give me your bare skin so I can rub it on you. And then go, yeah, you're breathing bad. And I'm like, yeah, I'm breathing bad. You just put an ice pack on me. Anyway, the main thing that I recall from putting on my mom's stethoscopes was this hurts my ears really badly. They're very tight and they go deep into the ear. So we were just building a shitty knockoff of Arc de Triomphe and tearing down the White House this week. Yeah, kinda, yeah. I'm gonna sit, and then we can talk about stuff. I have a big list of shit today. So, I just mangled my phone stand. We'll get to talking about stuff, because I got a lot of things to talk about. But before we do that, I need to sit. So please keep your hands, feet, ears, eyes, head, shoulders, knees, toes, friends, family, acquaintances, enemies, and lovers inside the vehicle at all times as we ride the roller coaster. What a wild ride every time. Too intense for me. God, I love there's the thought. Okay. Roller Coaster Tycoon. The fact that they were like, hey, let's make it so that every attendee of your digital theme park has thoughts that are logged to a central thought log. And you can just watch those roll in. And so you can just see what they're thinking. Like that decision, incredible. Incredible. The templates that we were given to fuck with that, insert ride here looks too intense for me. So you can make a ride called Your Mom, and it will just say, your mom looks too intense for me. And they don't want to go on it, but that's the thought that they're having. And you could do so much with that. Or like, I really enjoyed Your Mom, but I won't ride it again. Or I want to ride Your Mom again. Your mom is too intense. God, what a game. That's another game I've always wanted to do a stream of. Just like Roller Coaster Tycoon streams. My goodness. What a good game. What are we talking about? Arc de Triomphe and tearing down the White House. So yeah, let's get this. Let's talk about this first because I don't have a whole lot to say about it actually. White House torn down. White House starts demolishing part of East Wing to build Trump's ballroom. So, it's going to be so ugly. It's going to be so ugly. But essentially, Trump is tearing down a part of the White House to build a big, like, ballroom. He's always wanted this. He tried to donate money to the Obama administration to have a, like, Trump wing of the White House as a ballroom. And now he's trying to do it as the president because he wants to be able to, like, host state dinners and shit. And there's not really a big room at the White House. I'm gonna be so fucking honest here. I don't give a shit about this. Like, I don't care about this. Trump constructing a ballroom is a fucking waste of everyone's time. It's a waste of money. He's claiming that he's getting donations for it or whatever. We don't need a fucking ballroom. This who cares? I'm seeing a lot of people expressing anguish or dismay at the sight of the White House being, you know, torn down. I don't feel that inherently. I don't think you're wrong if you feel that. I think I understand why people would feel that. I understand that it is a, like, you know, symbol of our nation or whatever. I understand that he has no real authority to do this. Like, the board that's supposed to approve of major construction on historic buildings within our government has not signed off on this. This is completely not allowed, but that has never stopped this administration from doing anything. So that doesn't matter. Of everything that's come out of this administration so far, this has virtually no effect on me. Like they could tear down the entirety of the White House, and I still kind of wouldn't really care, because, like, the base White House was built by slaves to begin with. But, like, it's dumb. Like, it's dumb. It's dumb. It shouldn't be happening. It's stupid, but I don't really care. Like, I don't really give a shit when I'm looking at this. I don't want him to do this. I don't condone him doing this. I don't think we should do this, but, like, seeing it being torn down, like, seeing what he's doing, it's like, yeah, that tracks. That fucking tracks. Like, the guy who has spent his whole life not actually adhering to laws, not getting permits, not doing things the way that you're supposed to do it, and, like, getting approval for anything, is going ahead to do construction on a thing that he's been wanting to build, because that's the only thing that he sees in this world is, what can I put my name on? So he wants to put his name on a thing that is being built in the White House, and they're doing it as quickly as they can because he's gonna fucking die soon. And so he wants to be able to see it before he dies so that he knows he leaves an impact on this country. Unfortunately for him, the impact that he's leaving is going to just be a gender neutral bathroom. But, like, I don't really care. And I don't. Unfortunately, when he does beef it, they're going to make a big deal out of, like, finishing the ballroom and making it, like, you know, the Trump Memorial Ballroom or whatever. And that's going to be dumb because it's going to be so fucking hard to get that name changed in the future. Which is just going to add to the list of things that kind of suck about the White House. So I don't know. So there's that, but there's also the Arc de Trump or whatever that he's trying to do. He's had this, like, diorama of like an Arc de Triomphe copy that he wants to have built or whatever. The guy is just busted in the head. He's sundowning, and he's just doing the thing that we knew he was going to do, which is all he wants to do is use this to stay out of jail, enrich himself, and like, put his name on things, as I just said. No one wants this. We want affordable groceries. We want, like, accessible healthcare. And that's kind of the end of the list. Like, maybe also not having our government tackling octogenarians in the street because they might be a little too brown. Like, those are the things that we want right now, not a random arc about nothing. So maybe fucking don't. This guy is going through it right now. I'm not sure if it's like a coordinated attack on him, like a credibility attack or something, because he's been doing like pretty well generally recently. But this guy, if you're not familiar, this is, what the fuck is his name? Graham Plattner, and he is running for Senate in Maine. He has a lot of really good TikToks of him like talking hard and like saying fairly progressive things, but it came out just this past week like kind of a 1-2 punch. There was old Reddit posts from him that just kind of said shitty things, and then also he had a tattoo that is in some ways associated with Nazis, and he was like, oops, I didn't mean to have that tattoo. So he just got a new tattoo to cover up the old tattoo. I don't know what to make of any of this. I haven't really looked into this guy. I haven't really looked into like, you know, what exactly he said. I'm not forming any major opinion just yet, but he's running against Susan Collins, who is the one that's basically just been quietly enabling Trump from that seat this whole time. Like, she's the one that's always like, oh, I have concerns about what Trump is doing. And then she votes to approve of what he's doing. So the other person who's running against Susan Collins is, I believe, the current governor of Maine, who is also like 77. So like, we have a situation where there are two sort of front runners for Maine's Senate seat. Maine's governor is generally well liked. She would probably be a fine senator, but she's also 77, and we don't need more of that. This guy is saying good words, but has, you know, baggage by way of shitty posts and his past and whatever the fuck that tattoo was. I haven't really looked into, I've seen conflicting reports on the tattoo. I've seen that it's like a tattoo that's been used in a bunch of different contexts. I've seen it that it's a tattoo that's like unmistakably Nazi. He said that he got it when he was drunk. I don't know. He's a former Marine, like he's a former Army guy, so he has a shitty past. That's just a given. I don't feel any one way about this guy. I do feel that I want Susan Collins to not be in the Senate anymore. That would be nice. But yeah, he's just going through it right now. There's just like a media firestorm against him to the point that it really feels coordinated. Like, Susan Collins and the person that she's running against, that's not this guy, both benefit from this guy crashing out. So I'm just gonna hold back a little bit and wait to see what else happens here. But I don't think that he should necessarily immediately drop out, but like, it's not a good look. Do they have the tattoo here? Do they have a picture of it? I should probably read his posts. I don't know what he actually posted, so he should drop out if he posted shitty, like truly shitty things. But in the day since his apology, he posted more of his old Reddit posts. Oh my god. He also released additional Reddit posts showing him criticizing homophobia and misogyny in the military. One post he shared Monday stated that he was disillusioned by, quote, rampant misogyny and weirdness in the Marines, which he also served in. He is an oyster farmer. Yeah, I don't know. Like, at the end of the day, he's just a oyster. He's a military guy, white dude from Maine. There's a baseline of racism that you're gonna have when you are a white guy, former military from Maine. That's just a given. And like, no hate if you're from Maine. I don't mean to call you a racist, but like, you probably are a little bit, and that's not your fault. Like, Maine is so very white, like so very white. It's so white that I get uncomfortable in Maine. Like, as a white guy, there's so much white around me that I'm like, this is uncomfortable. So yeah, like it's just in my experience with people from Maine, it's like they're not bad people. There's just not anyone else besides white people around them. Prefix is raiding with 2 people. Welcome in, Raiders. What's up? So yeah, we've got. Oh no. We've got a lot of just wonderful options for our Senate. We can have a 70-something-year-old person. We could have a racist. Not white enough for Maine Dev. The Maine fog will claim you like Silent Hill. It's okay. Here is my experience with Maine. I really like Portland, Maine. Portland, Maine's a wonderful city. I would go to visit my buddy in Portland, Maine. And then we would go outside city limits, like 10 minutes in any direction. And it was a desolate wasteland in which the only people were like elderly white folks in every direction. And I was like, well, this is not a vibe for me necessarily. This is not necessarily where I want to be. But I also get really, really uncomfortable in like deeply desolate rural areas to begin with. But yeah, Maine is very fast to go from city limits to nothing. Beautiful state though, gorgeous state, and very kind to people overall, in my experience, if you're a white guy like me. He's only an issue a couple times a month. Wait. Oh. TLDR, he asked back then, quote, why don't black people tip? And then had a black friend explain to him that they can't afford to. Okay. I don't know. Like, I feel like we're gonna see so much more of this, right? We're gonna start seeing so many more candidates that's like, yeah, I've been on the internet my entire life. And so I have dumb bullshit on the internet. Not giving this guy a pass. I'm talking abstractly. I have posted plenty of dumb bullshit on the internet. I don't think that I am that guy anymore. The whole like people can never change, holding them accountable for all eternity. Dug up some tweets from 2008 that said the F slur, and it's like, yeah, dog. That's what a lot of white people were saying back then. That's what a lot of white dudes were saying back then, was like fast and loose with a lot of really bad terms. And like, yeah, that sucks. That's not acceptable. And we shouldn't like let people continue to do that. But if they aren't doing that now, if they stopped doing that, if they learned that was dumb, like, okay. Okay, like if they've grown and learned and apologized and said I'm not going to do that again, and they haven't been doing that again, then cool. Let's move on. Let's move forward. You know, grow, learn, and change, because like we don't have the luxury right now of being hyper selective with who we form coalitions with. We don't have that luxury, because right now there is a coalition on one side and no coalition on the other. There's a coalition on the far right side. That's a coalition of like the furthest right people, the very far right people, and the pretty far right people. And they're winning currently a lot. They have free reign to do literally anything they want with our taxes. So they are forcing American citizens by at threat of violence to pay taxes into the system that will then be used to go pay for genocide in Gaza and funding racists to roam our streets and tackle random people, bomb random boats off the coast of Venezuela. They can do whatever the hell they want and no one can stop them. So like at this point, if there's a person who, even if they are currently kind of shitty, if they're kind of shitty, but they want people to have basic human rights, if they're kind of shitty, but they like acknowledge that trans people exist, maybe it's time to start dealing with the kind of shitty a little bit, you know? Like maybe just a little bit. Doesn't mean you have to like them. Doesn't mean you have to be their friend. But if you need somebody next to you in taking on what we're facing right now, it probably doesn't matter if they used to say the R slur too often. Because there's people being murdered by our government in Venezuela's waters that are just fucking fishermen. But yeah, no, I'm not okay with how this country is right now. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's really, really easy to get divided, and it's really, really hard to undo that. And so it's really easy for the side that wants to ensure there's no discussions among their opponents, right? They are going to do everything they can to drive a wedge between everyone. And there are absolutely people that are not worth forming coalition with on the left as well, and centrists and so on. There are people who have malicious intent. There are people who might think that they want change, but in reality they're going to realize that like they actually want to protect the status quo of white supremacy. But like, by and large, we need more conversations between more people who are willing to be a little bit more uncomfortable talking about certain things that have been, for whatever reason, relegated to like uncouth to even discuss. And I'm not talking about like race relations and gay rights and stuff. Like those should be absolutes, right? It should be absolute that everybody has the same baseline rights. It should be absolute that no one is facing prejudice for who they are. That's its own thing. But like acceptable words, how to refer to things, what you think is the highest priority, whether or not you feel that, X is the biggest factor contributing to the problem or Y is the biggest factor contributing to the problem. And then also liberals, right? There's a lot of people who are generally uninterested in harming others consciously, but might not realize all of the unconscious harm that they're doing. And they're going to keep on doing what they're doing, not knowing why things are continuously getting worse. And those people need to be reached out to. They need to be pulled in, They need to be like given a hand, which sucks because it shouldn't have to be that way. But if everyone sat around and said, I shouldn't have to help other people have their sort of like political awakening, then nothing would ever happen. Like, oh yeah, it's not my job to teach you. Yeah, it's not my job to teach you. But if you don't do it, and someone with diametrically opposed beliefs to you does, then they win. So like your options are throw your hands in the air and complain about it, or do something about it. Which is kind of the same thing I was saying about the protests recently, the No Kings protests. And stuff keeps happening on Monday. I talked about how, yes, they're non-violent marches that don't really accomplish anything radical. But what they do is they help form community, and it's a show of solidarity. It connected people with other people who are like-minded. To think that 7 million people mobilized, and not one of them met someone who would help them take that next step. That's just intentionally being obtusely pessimistic, and I reject that. I hate this. Well, you did that one bag thing, so now you're all bad binary thinking. It is as far as I understand, it is a result of essentially formerly like religious conservative people rubber banding out of their previous ideology. So if you're a person who was raised like ultra religious, ultra conservative, fire and brimstone, punish the criminals and so on and so on and so on. You are taught from birth that if you do bad, you get punished. If you do bad, you get eternal punishment by way of hellfire, right? If you do bad in life, you will go to hell. Crime, punishment. They are inextricable. And punishment needs to be severe. It needs to be something that's so dangerous that no one would even tempt it, right? So when you realize like this kind of sucks actually, and you snap back to the other side, you realize like, wait, I care about people though. and you're telling me to not care about people. Or like my friend is queer and you're telling me I can't even be friends with them anymore. And you snap back and you start to realize like there's other ways of being, but you hold on to the prior understanding, your cause and effect, your crime and punishment thing. And so you stay very aggressive with like proposals to punish people, to see someone doing something that you identified as bad and got away from, and you're like, they're bad and should be punished eternally, you know? And so you never ever let people out of that box. And it takes a long time to get past that. It really does. It takes a long time. You have to basically steep in forward-thinking mindsets for long enough to be comfortable when they're challenged. When you are comfortable having your outlooks challenged because you're not afraid of someone undermining you, because you're confident in why you believe what you believe in, that's when you can start to chill. That's when you can start to be like, all right, you have a different opinion, but I'm not like threatened by that. And therefore that's okay. I don't need to write you out of my life entirely because I'm not threatened by that. Now, again, of course, there's a huge difference between like political beliefs and human rights. That's still not what I'm talking about. But even on the subject matter of like, what is the most pressing thing in our current world, right? Like, if you were to ask them that, and they don't give an answer that's even remotely close to yours, that doesn't mean that they're not a valuable person to form a coalition with. Let's say you went to somebody and you asked, like, hey, what's the most pressing thing in American politics right now? There's a lot of things that one could say, and there's a lot of ways that you could infer very negative opinions about them. If you ask somebody that and they didn't say, supporting Israel and the genocide in Gaza, that you can infer that they put other things above genocide in terms of things that they care about. And does that disqualify them from forming coalition with them? Does that disqualify them from being a person that you can ally with? That's what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, we need to be doing something about the fact that we are supporting a genocide. And also, we've been supporting genocides for the entirety of the time that I've drawn breath. That doesn't make it better. And also, we can't not do things until the biggest thing is handled. So maybe right now, the thing that we actually need to do, in addition to continue to call out the genocide and continue to push back on that, is work to get the average American to a place where they have the ability to care about things outside of their immediate vicinity, which is just not the case right now, by way of a lack of education, a lack of stability, a lack of shelter, a lack of food. There's so many factors that are causing American citizens to have done something as absurd as vote for Donald Trump again. That didn't happen in a vacuum. It just didn't. And to ignore that reality is to ignore reality. So, anyway, I've been yapping a lot. Let's see what chat has to say about things. Let's see. Prefix says, do I contribute my Prime sub? Yes. Yes. Yeah. Teaching people requires the other person to listen, and people don't listen to me or take me seriously. So I've given up on trying to do that, says Space Goat. I feel you. You don't teach somebody by telling them things and expecting them to absorb it. Like, that's not how that works. I'm not saying that that's what you're doing necessarily, but like, if people aren't listening to you, it's likely because you're not finding the path to get underneath their belief system, which is kind of like the route that you need to take. And it's a very roundabout path. You have to essentially get them to realize what their values are and how their own values conflict with what their actions have been. And to get someone to realize that requires them to have a bit of insight and the willingness to admit that they were wrong. And that can take years. So don't expect miracles, really. You did cancel the TTRPG. I don't know. That's fair. Yeah, I don't feel good about that. I feel very bad about that. For those who aren't aware, I was working on a tabletop role-playing game for a couple years called Proscenium. And I recently had to shelve the project because it was just too much. I at the time that I announced the project, I was very sure I was going to be able to see it all the way through. And then the Fire Nation attacked. And now I'm here. So I had to essentially look at the fact that I couldn't get anything done ever and be like, I need to put a project down. So I decided to just whole ass cancel that to be able to focus on just doing what I'm trying to focus on right now, which is just survival and content. So my current focus now is much more on my core content. So streaming, stuff keeps happening. I'm really hoping finally that I'll have time to start making additional videos. I really want to make a video about the US East 1 crash that happened recently. I've been working on that script, but oh, also there is a new episode of my Minecraft Let's Play is going up on my gaming channel on YouTube later today. So lots of content stuff, just trying to make sure that that's good for y'all and make sure that I have time to be a person. Because that's the other thing. It's like I haven't been seeing people or doing things for like years now. Like I'm just constantly constantly working always. And I basically never see friends or go anywhere or do anything at this point. So really hoping to just like take some more time to focus on just being a healthier person. I start by asking questions like, do you need healthcare? And are any of your friends not white? Which, you know, the current government is against them. So yeah. Kind of wild. Speaking of which, let me write off some stuff. Talked about that. This is funny. Come on. There it is. Wait, no, that's wrong. Where is... Oh, here it is. Okay. This is funny. Immigration agents conducting sweep on New York City's famed Canal Street confronted by protesters. So, God, what a picture. A bunch of fuckwads decided to go into a city that doesn't want them there to go to a street in the city where there are street vendors that people like, and they tried to get rid of the street vendors. Like they were targeting street vendors. An immigration enforcement sweep targeting vendors on Manhattan's famed Canal Street turned chaotic on Tuesday after droves of angry New Yorkers surrounded federal agents and attempted to block them from driving off, prompting arrests and fierce standoffs along a bustling downtown corridor. Hey, you could have just not gone there. The alternative, when a city and its residents are telling you to get the fuck out of their city because they don't want you there, they didn't vote for the guy that put you there, maybe you get the fuck out. So a bunch of little wee wimpy babies who have to cover up their faces doing their police work. They were doing their police work because they got a little tired of beating their wife and dog at home. So they put on their mask, they came out, and they decided to start harassing their fellow US citizens because they can't get their penis hard. So they came here to New York, where a bunch of New Yorkers were like, hey, get the fuck out of here. And then they're like, some people are being mean to me. And so they threatened them with pepper spray. And then made a big stink about it so that Fox News can be like, the mean New Yorkers were mean to the ICE agents who were trying to violently deport people who were participating in the local economy. Street vendors, not criminals. They're like, oh yeah, they're criminals because, where is it? Yeah. They were saying that it was an operation against sellers of counterfeit goods. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you serious? Are you actually going to try to use the excuse of there is a vendor on this street in the midst of New York City who is selling counterfeit goods, which is reason for us to roll armored vehicles into the city and deploy federal masked agents to go after them? Never mind that that's like a thing that no one gives a shit about. Even kind of. It's so wild. Like, these people don't understand how people who live in cities can enjoy cities. And like, because these people hate black people so much, and because there's black people in cities, they have convinced themselves that they have a divine right to go into cities and eradicate any potential quote unquote threat. And then they get upset when the residents of the city are like, get the fuck out of my town. Like, if you don't like cities, then stay the fuck out of cities. Quit trying to tell people who live in cities that their city is on fire when it's not. You are the one causing the chaos. Get the fuck out. That's not their jurisdiction. They've been arresting, like, immigration agents are arresting more and more U.S. citizens. And the fact that there has been a non-zero number of U.S. citizens arrested by immigration agents, and we haven't drawn this country to a complete halt over it, is really fucking sad. Oh my God, someone's selling an obviously fake Gucci bag for so cheap that people will buy it anyhow. Call in an airstrike. Yeah, speaking of airstrikes, a missile over California. Our fucking U.S. Marines probe firing of live artillery over California highway. The U.S. Marines are investigating the firing of live artillery over a major California highway during a ceremony attended by Vice President J.D. Vance, in which one shell blew up in the air and rained shrapnel over police vehicles parked nearby. Nobody was injured in the mishap, which occurred on Saturday afternoon during a demonstration of the military's M777 howitzer heavy artillery pieces at Camp Pendleton event, celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Marine Corps, which, to be clear, the Marine Corps' 250th anniversary is not for another month. So essentially, they were trying to do a show of force by firing live missiles in the state of California during the No Kings protests, one of which blew up prematurely over a highway that was only closed to civilians because Gavin Newsom actually closed it ahead of time, because he was like, why the fuck are you going to try to fire live munitions over a highway? And they weren't going to close it. So a 2-inch wide chunk of shrapnel dented a patrol car's hood, and smaller pieces rained down around a motorcycle, but no serious damage was detected. Fucking good. It's not like I want people to be harmed by munitions, but why are we firing them? I feel like there's other ways to celebrate the Marines. Like, pay them, maybe. This administration loves to show force and vaguely threaten violence. I'm so tired of having to share a country with people who cannot read between the lines. And then get mad when you read between the lines and explain what is being said between the lines. Because, like, obviously that's a dumb fucking show of force in response to the protests. Anyone with a, like, functioning brain should be able to see that. But they just say that it's for the Marines' anniversary, which is not now anyway. And people are like, well, it was for the Marines' anniversary. I can hydrate. Thank you. Prefix says, Eepy time, GLHF. Take care. Enjoy your sleep. Thanks for popping by. So there was a premature detonation? Yeah, you could say it had ED. It's because he has EDS. Vance doesn't know any other way to get hard. I would be surprised if JD Vance has a functioning peeper. I would be surprised. I'd be very surprised. Remember that JD Vance did not have a beard before the administration, by the way. JD Vance without beard. Like you've seen the pictures of JD Vance recently. He grew a beard because of his baby face. But you forgot that this is JD Vance. You forgot that this is the guy. This is the guy. Fucking like Walmart great value brand Gerard Way over here is the one that is doing things like blowing up munitions over our streets and saying that kids just talk like Nazis. That's just it. Don't be mean to real Gerard. I only say that because of the eyeliner, honestly. Also, I mean, Gerard and I are like best friends at this point because I went to the MCR concert in Jersey. So like, I was in the crowd. I didn't go backstage and like meet him or anything, but I was in the crowd. And I was cheering, and so like he probably heard, and so like we're probably like best friends at this point, you know. Don't insult Gerard like that. No. I'm saying Gerard cannot be compared to. You could not hold a candle. Coolest thing happened. So yeah, I went to that concert. I went to the My Chemical Romance concert in New Jersey. And while I was there, like I got there like fairly early, and I saw a dude climb up the like scaffolding on the stage. Like it's a big stadium stage, big tall scaffolding because there's like pyrotechnics on top. And I saw a guy scaling the scaffolding to go do something. And I later on posted about it on Instagram, and someone jumped in my comments and was like, "Hey, I worked on building that stage. Like that's me." And I was like, "Oh, I saw somebody climbing up the rafters." He was like, "That was me." I was like, "Oh shit." So like it just happened to be that the guy working the stage at the MCR concert happened upon my Instagram video. That was pretty cool. Didn't Vance also get big mad at Ukraine for reporting? Big mad at a Ukraine reporting YouTuber for calling a spade a spade. Hegseth went into a meeting with Zelensky with a Russian flag tie on. I didn't see that. Sounds about right. I mean, I've also seen reports that Hegseth is like likely on the chopping block. Like Hegseth is likely going to be removed come like January. Let's see. Hegseth may be fired. Can I find this? I haven't. I'm looking for a reputable source. I'm gonna say I don't have a very, very, very strong source here, but so take this with like a whole salt shaker. Trump may fire Pete Hegseth by the new year because he's underwater at DOD. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth may be the first member of Donald Trump's cabinet to be fired from the job, and at least one analyst thinks that was part of the plan all along. Hegseth has had a tumultuous year as defense secretary. In April, he had the Signal chat. People say he's a waste of time, blah, 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 blah. Nobody likes him. Essentially, Trump doesn't want to have the same cabinet situation he had last time, which was just rotating. Like he had like no one in his cabinet for more than like a couple of months. So he was like, I'm gonna not fire anyone for a whole year. And so he's trying to like not fire anybody from his cabinet to make it look like he has solidarity with his cabinet. So apparently he's waiting until like that year timeline is up to be able to just fire Hegseth. That makes sense. I don't think that the White House is happy with Hegseth. I think he's too loud and annoying for them. So I don't see why they would keep him around. But are you the stuff still happens guy? Yes. Yes. Dat me. Dat do be me. Scaramucci, anyone? Yeah, fucking 10 days. Incredible. Truly incredible. Measuring thing in mooches, it still works. It still fucking works. All the salt. Yeah, I mean, it's like a rumor of a rumor of a rumor, so. Trump is underwater, though? I mean, yeah, but also, again, it doesn't really matter. Again, as long as no institution is willing to stand up to him, it doesn't matter. As long as no institution is willing to stop him from doing things, nothing's going to change. Oh, another funny thing about ICE. Hackers dox hundreds of DHS, ICE, FBI, and DOJ officials. A group of hackers from the COM, a loosely knit community behind some of the most significant data breaches in recent years, have posted the names and personal information of hundreds of government officials, including people working for the Department of Homeland Security and Immigration and Customs Enforcement. I want my money, Mexico, a user of Scattered Lapsus Hunter's Telegram channel, which is a combination of a series of other hacking group names associated with the COM. The message was referencing a claim from the DHS that Mexican cartels have begun offering thousands of dollars for doxing agents. The U.S. government has not provided evidence for such claim. So the DHS was like, the Mexicans are so dangerous. They're doing a bounty for doxing us, and so some hackers dox them, and they're like, cool, give me my money. Mexican cartels, hit me up. We dropping all the doxes. Where's my 1 million? Where's my 1 million? It's not clear how the hackers collected or otherwise sourced this data, be that combining previous sources that diffuse data breaches or by obtaining it from a government-specific breach. So, yeah, maybe don't claim that if people hack you, they'll be paid by a foreign government. Maybe don't do that. Maybe that's a bad idea. Maybe that's not a good idea. We're going to build a firewall and make Mexico pay for it. Oh my God. I love your TikToks. Keeps me informed because I don't like what's going on. I don't like what's going on either. Dracopyrus 1996. I don't like what's going on either. I generally, at large, feel like it shouldn't be like this. I think 404 Media. 404 Media is fucking great. If you're not already following these folks, you very, very, very much should. It's a handful of journalists who were, I believe, let go from like a corporate journal or whatever, and they made their own publication that is like really, really, really on top of especially like tech stuff and the inner workings therein, and they just get incredible scoops, and they do a really good job of explaining what the fuck is actually going on. So 404media.co, I super recommend them. They have some free stuff, but it's also a paid supported newsletter kind of thing. So defo check those out. Anyone want pumpkin cake donut? Yes. 404 Media and Dropsite are two of the best newer outlets for sure. Wired has also become a lot better than they were just 10 years ago. Wired's gotten a lot better recently. Yeah, pretty good. I cannot stand Midas Touch in terms of like other new media sites that have popped up recently. I cannot fucking stand. Midas Touch is like it's Newsmax for liberals, and I am so over it already. I'm like so fucking over it. It's not, all it's doing is validating the low level concerns of liberal outlooks, basically, as opposed to being like, it's really bad. Like, it's really way worse. Instead, they're just like, can you believe that Trump said this mean thing? Can you believe that they don't have the decorum? Midas Touch trying to be like liberal Fox News. Yeah, like it's like, here's the problem with Midas Touch is that their goal is growth. Their goal is not information. Their goal is growth. They have always been trying to do that. That's what they're a business first. Their goal was to become a large name in liberal media for the purposes of being a large name in liberal media. Not because they have a message. They're just repackaging the exact same other messages and making viral content that misses the point, essentially. Fun fact, the NSA has ironically sucked at security forever. I knew a guy who was in the Navy and ended up working there. He had to give up his cell phone at the door each day, but he would chat with me and another friend via Google Chat, Hangouts/Meet. It's a little different. I know I have a bunch of people and family members and whatnot who have worked in and around the NSA. I had a roommate in college that always cheated off of me who got a job at the NSA because of nepotism. The NSA is not staffed with our best and brightest. No, it's not. But also, like, they do a lot of shit, especially now, ever since Snowden. Like, ever since Edward Snowden, they overhauled all their security requirements. And it's, as far as I understand, like, essentially impossible to get anything done anymore. So, which wasn't easy to do it beforehand. This was after Snowden. Well, then I don't know. Midas Touch is Blue MAGA. God, I am so over the Blue MAGA shit. Like, I'm over the vote blue no matter who people having completely just disappeared into stop talking about progressive candidates no matter who. Like, that just went away. The less the NSA can get done, the better. Agreed. The NSA is a really unfortunate entity that we should not have, and their fucking purpose is to spy on us. Which makes room for support and suppression of anti-radical agendas of not the left. Wait. Which makes room for support and suppression of anti-radical agendas of the not left. I think I understand what you're saying. You're saying the continued focus on lesser issues portrayed as the biggest issues helps to act as sort of like a Trojan horse for anti-progressive ideology. I believe that's what you're saying. You should really look at it and how parallel construction is on every data center as they enter the country. I don't know wait, you should really look at it and how parallel construction is on every data center as they, I don't know. I'm missing some context here. I'm missing some context with that one. I'm not sure. Hope my assigned NSA spy likes the depressive meltdowns and Balatro, because that's all that's been happening here. The thing about the NSA is, like, they're not the ones that have the agent that's watching you through the webcam, right? They are deploying software to major corporations and saying, like, run this in your data center and don't ask questions. And don't monitor its network. Like, they're going to major tech companies and being like, hey, we would like to slurp up some of that data you're collecting and don't tell anyone. And if you do tell anyone, we'll deny it. Wonder if my NSA agent also likes VTubers. I mean, I hope so, considering I'm a VTuber. Look, here's my VTuber model. That's my VTuber model. Look, it's even animated. Best VTuber. I've considered doing a ping tube thing at some point, but I'm too lazy to do that. I'd rather just put my fleshy face on the screen. So much effort. I don't want to have to like think about like, oh man, is my like tracking working? Is everything going on? Like I can barely handle my own dang stream, let alone a stream in which I am embodying a big titty anime girl, because it would be a big titty anime girl. It wouldn't not be. It's who I truly am. BRB lag is so rough. Is that a me thing? Rocky is waving back. You just can't see it. Rocky is my dog, for those who don't know. That's really important. Thank you for letting everybody know. Thank you for informing everybody. We're almost out of music. We're gonna go to Jangly Vibes next. We're gonna do Jangly Vibes next. Never heard PingTuber said out loud. Yeah, do people here, what are we a PNG or a ping kind of crew here? Or do people say PNG or ping? I've always said ping. I also say GIF, which people get really upset with me about, but I don't care, and I will not hear your dumb argument about why it's pronounced GIF, because graphics and blah 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 blah. I can have the entire GIF argument by myself. Like, I've had it so many goddamn times. Like, I never want to hear anyone fucking complain about it ever again. We're so far past it. We're so far past it. If someone says GIF, if someone says GIF, did you know what they meant? Great. They meant shit quality moving picture that's probably actually a WebM. So, like, who cares anymore? I say gooey. 50 points for Doggo. What a sweet baby. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hold on. Here you go. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, that's a good boy. Oh, that's a good boy. Oh, that's a good. Oh, that's a good boy. Oh, that's a good boy. Do you say giraffics instead of graphics, though? Yeah, like I said, I could have this exact conversation by myself. I could play every role. I could make every argument about why it should and should not be pronounced a certain way. And at the end of the fucking day, it, one, doesn't matter, and two, is a made-up word in which the creator of the made-up word instructed how it was supposed to be said, which is GIF. So you can say, I don't care if he made up the word because it's an abbreviation or whatever, but there are hours-long YouTube videos breaking down how there is no valid argument for why it should be pronounced a certain way, because acronyms are not pronounced based on the words that they are acronyms of. That is not a rule of the English language. It's just straight up not. And there's not, even if you don't treat it as an acronym, if you treat it as a normal word, there's also not consistent precedent for it being pronounced one way or the other. So there is no argument to be made. Say words. Say words and know what they mean, and that's it. That's all you gotta have. That's all you gotta have. We never get to the end of the day. That is the issue here. But the G in graphics stands for, the G stands for graphics. I know the G stands for graphics. I'm aware the G stands for graphics. But as I just said, there is no precedent for acronyms being pronounced a certain way based on what word it's an abbreviation for. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. That's not a law. It's not a rule. It's because it's so unnecessary is what bugs me. It's because I'm right and everyone who's wrong is telling me that I'm wrong, but it's also because it doesn't fucking matter, right? Like, I am a software developer. I am a person who has spent my entire life, since I was like 8, working on like computer code and files and bits and zeros and ones and shit and encodings and file formats. I've been working with GIFs longer than most people who are watching this have probably been alive. So to be told that I'm wrong about how it's pronounced makes me so fucking mad. Software developer equals opinion invalid. That would be accurate if the opinion was about anything to do with humanities. In which case, yes, my opinion would be very wrong. Really tilts you. It's one of the few things that gets me really fucking mad. Like, it gets me, I'm not mad. It's the fact that I have to have this conversation on loop forever. That's what gets me. It's the fact that if I want to say a word, there's a certain word that if I say, it will trigger a conversation that I don't want to have. And so I avoid it entirely. And so I find myself catching that I'm about to say GIF, and I'll instead say like image or short video. Because I just don't want to bring up this exact conversation. Because I've had it 800 trillion times in my life. And it doesn't matter. It never did. If you always have the conversation, maybe you're the one saying it wrong, but it's not always this. It's always a different group of people, and it's not like I'm the only one that people are saying or are saying it this way, you know? Anyway, again, I'm still right. Like, you can be wrong. That's fine. You can be wrong, and I can still understand you, and I'm fine with that. But it's when people are like, but it's graphics, interchange format. Okay, that's not how acronyms work. Anyway, we're moving on because I actually don't care. Always call them JPEGs or pings. Yeah, I saw a few other people say that they say PNG or whatever. Like, at the end of the day, it's a file format. It doesn't matter. The thing that really gets people going, you want to have a nerd debate that actually gets people like, I know at least one couple that's broken up over this, and that is how you would go about pronouncing. I'm going to put it on the screen so I don't say it. Text. Create. This is the holy war that will get people to lose their fucking mind. Is it pronounced sequel or SQL? This is the one that fucks people up. GIF, I'm so over. This is fucked up because it's also different based on the proximity to other words. Because there are some that are canonically pronounced SQL, and there are some that are canonically pronounced sequel, and there are some that are canonically pronounced neither, and no one can agree which crew is right. And I've seen people I've seen at least one couple break up over this. It's fucking crazy. It's so bad. This is actually really interesting. I want to show you all a thing. Get ready for like deep nerd technical shit. And by deep nerd technical shit, I mean not that deep, but I find this fascinating. So let's talk about this. This is a test. This is a test of how far I can push you into watching me talk about the most random bullshit that I have no business talking to an audience of over 100 people about on the internet. Let's talk about SQLite. So SQLite, I believe, is how they canonically pronounce it. I hate that. Like, it could be SQLite, but I believe it's SQLite or SQLite. Unclear. But this format, which I'm just gonna say SQLite because I prefer saying SQLite. SQLite is a very simple, very tiny, embedded database. It is almost definite that you are using a device that is relying on multiple SQLite databases currently right now, it's if your phone absolutely has a million of them, this is like the most used database period, because it's tiny and you can put it on anything and it is a full capable database. This format, this is why I find this so fucking interesting. The SQLite file format is stable, cross-platform and backwards compatible, and the developers pledge to keep it that way through the year 2050. SQLite database files are commonly used as containers to transfer data and rich content, long-term archival, because the where is it? Yeah, SQLite is a recommended storage format for datasets according to the U.S. Library of Congress. So like this is a file format essentially. Like we're talking about a data file, right? Just like you have a .doc, just like you would have a .xlsx, right? Like a spreadsheet. This you would have a .SQLite file. And it's just basically a fancy collection of spreadsheets, right? It's a database. And it's so widely used and stable that the US Library of Congress is like, yeah, we should use this file format. But I bring up the long-term support because this is a piece of software it's not open source. This is not open source software. This is software that is maintained by a small group of people who have essentially pledged their lives to it. The intent of the developers is to support SQLite through the year 2050. At this writing, 2050 is still 25 years in the future. Nobody knows what will happen in that time, and we cannot absolutely promise that SQLite will be viable or useful that far out. But we can promise this. We plan as if we will be supporting SQLite until 2050. That long-term outlook affects our decision in many important ways. So they essentially are like, we are not going to fuck this up. We're going to like keep it as stable as we can. Aviation grade testing. Every machine code branch instruction is tested in both directions multiple times. Where is the other part that is important to me? License? Where is it? Support? About? Oh, come on. Where is it, though? Heavily commented code, disaster planning, cryptographically protected, automatically replicated. Okay, I really want to find this page, though. Okay, SQLite... promise from developers, code of conduct, I think. Code of ethics. Here it is. This is why I wanted to bring this up. Here we are. This document was originally called a code of conduct and was created for the purpose of filling in a box on supplier registration forms to the SQLite developers by some clients. However, we subsequently learned that code of conduct has a very specific and almost sacred meaning to some readers. Meaning a meaning to which this document does not conform. Therefore, this document has been renamed Code of Ethics, as we are encouraged to do so by Rule 71, blah, 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 blah. The founder of SQLite and all current developers at the time when this document was composed have pledged to govern their interactions with each other, with their clients, and with the larger SQLite user community in accordance with the instrument of good works from Chapter 4 of the Rule of Saint Benedict. Okay, cool. The Rule of Saint Benedict, very, very good. All right, the rule. First of all, love the Lord God with your whole heart, your whole soul, and your whole strength. Then love your neighbor as yourself. Do not murder. Do not commit adultery. Do not steal. Do not covet. Do not bear false witness. Honor all people. Do not do to another what you could not have done to yourself. Deny oneself in order to follow Christ, chastise the body, do not become attached to pleasures, love fasting, relieve the poor, clothe the naked, visit the sick, bury the dead, be a help in times of trouble, console the sorrowing, Be a stranger to the world's ways. Prefer nothing more than the love of Christ. Do not give way to anger. Do not nurse a grudge. Do not entertain deceit in your heart. This is, again, a database. This is a database. This is database software. This is the pledge that the developers of this database software are making to you and to me about how they're going to interact with each other and their software. Anyway, do not give a false peace. Do not forsake charity. Do not swear for fear of perjuring yourself. Utter only truth from the heart and mouth. Do not return evil for evil. Do no wrong to anyone, and bear patiently wrongs done to yourself. Love your enemies. Love your enemies. Do not curse those who curse you, but rather bless them. Bear persecution for justice's sake. Be not proud. Be not addicted to wine. Y'all, be not addicted to wine. Be not a great eater. I'm a really good eater is the problem, and I use SQLite all the time. Be not drowsy. Be not drowsy. Look at this fucking sinner. Seriously. Anyway. So I hope you enjoyed this little jaunt into the world of like one of many very weird niche things in the developer world. Like SQLite or SQLite or SQLite, however it's pronounced. I don't know. I don't care. I'm going to keep saying SQLite because that's easier just to verbally say. It is a thing that's used everywhere. It's used in almost any piece of software that has to like persist some data somewhere. It's just ubiquitous at this point. It is a pretty much standard format for storing data in a file somewhere. It is a great example of how it's just like when you start to look under the covers, you get like you're like, I'm just going to go ahead and we're just going to leave that there. We're just going to stop. We're just going to let that be how it is. Because like developers are fucking crazy. Developers are insane. The people who are making AI right now, like people who are making, I say AI, I mean large language models. The people who are making large language models right now legitimately believe that they are trying to summon a god. They think that they are trying to create divinity. They are trying to make a god from AI. And like not all of them, but enough of them. Enough of them. Why do you think Peter Thiel is constantly talking about the Antichrist and transhumanism and like the next phase of evolution and shit? It's because tech bros are unhinged. And you might get unhinged like their brains are busted and so they're now like praying to a digital god of their own creation. Or you might get, hey, we're going to post a code of ethics in which we promise to everyone who uses our software that we will not covet thy neighbor. Trying to manifest the Omnissiah to make a giant world computer. Yeah, basically. Uh-huh. Yeah, one of these days, I'll need to just go through a library of like greatest hits from Linus Torvalds. So Linus Torvalds, the creator of Linux. Linus Torvalds. Oh, hey, I have Linus Torvalds' greatest hits as a prior search in my search history. Very good. Probably because I've already done this before. This guy, Linus Torvalds, fucking legend. He created Linux. Like he's the guy who essentially is the creator of Linux. Here's his most iconic picture. So this is the very, very, very iconic picture of Linus Torvalds in which he is, in this photo, I believe he is flipping off NVIDIA. He is asked about NVIDIA, and so he's like, this is what I think about NVIDIA, and he flips it off. Temple OS rabbit hole, that too. I'll go down that rabbit hole sometime. But Linus Torvalds is famously not easy to work with, and not afraid to tell you what he really thinks about you. So let's just go ahead and let's just do Linus Torvalds greatest hits. He essentially is the like head of Linux, and more or less, if something is going to go into Linux, it has to go through this guy. And if he doesn't like what you're doing, he's not going to just say no. He is going to send a message publicly to an entire mailing list explaining just how stupid he thinks you are for what you were trying to do. Let's find some quotes. Software is like sex. It's better when it's free. Okay. These are like not the quotes I'm looking for. This is a PDF? Wait, a PDF of all of his stuff? Wait, where's... I want just like a list of quotes. Awesome one-liners from Linus Torvalds. Greatest hits rants. Oh, wonderful. Oh, it's a GitHub repository. A data set of Linus Torvalds' rants classified by negativity using a sentiment analysis. Oh, I love it. Okay. 2012 rants. Oh my. Oh. Okay. Wrong. Alan, you are not getting it. Loading firmware as part of suspend resume is wrong. What the heck is your problem? Go back and read it. If it wasn't loading before, then it wasn't working before either. Why do you make up all these idiotic theoretical cases that nobody cares about and has no relevance whatsoever? Like, hold on. I need to make sure this word wraps. Hold on. Where was I? It's just... get this nice and full. Okay. Why do you make up all these idiotic theoretical cases that nobody cares about and has no relevance whatsoever for the 99%? Seriously, it's just stupid. You seem intentionally be off in some cases, some random alternate reality that is not relevant to anybody else or to the actual reported problems at hand. What the fuck is the logic here? Just fix the obvious breakage in the Blork set. It's clearly what the code intends to do. It didn't just check for this is some term. It's a disease, how you seem to think that, quote, we have ugly mistakes in the kernel, so let's add another one. That's not how we do things. We fix things instead of making things even worse. Stop this insanity from spreading instead of making it spread more. You are the one who seems to just want to add hack upon hack to things. That is what I really hate. It's not only in bad taste, it will come back and bite us someday. Hell no! Why do you send me this shit? The use NMI instead of reboot vector commit has been reported to not work at all. It was totally broken, yet you send me this known broken crap, and yes, I checked. The version you sent me is the fucked one. I was hoping that you would have fixed it, but no. In short, you didn't merge the fix, and yet you sent me a patch series that was known to be broken for the last 3+ weeks. Why? What the fuck happened, Ingo? Yes, I'm angry as hell. Shit like this should not happen. I don't want people sending me known buggy pull requests. I'm gonna stop it there. This could be an entire like hours long video of this is one file of rants from the guy. These are things that he wrote in public mailing lists. These are public replies to like mailing lists with thousands and thousands of people watching them. It's incredible. It's incredible. And this is what is actually going on behind the scenes with nerds. That was a good reading, Dev. Clap. Well, thank you. I'll take a bow. Link the repo? Oh, good idea. Good idea. Hold on. Here is the repo. There you go. Encore. For a hot sec, I thought it was your rant. Oh, God, no. No. That is not really how I talk to people. I don't think I could be angry enough to talk like that right now. Like, I'll get animated. I'll get animated when I'm talking about something. I'll get, like, frustrated at how stupid something is. But I don't think I can get legitimately angry at someone to the point that I'll just sit there and ream them out forever. I just don't think I have that. Maybe it's the pills. Maybe it's the depression medication, suppressing my ability to feel anything. But I just don't think I have that in me anymore. His anger at NVIDIA still reigns supreme in my book. Look, we all want to be Linus Torvalds slipping off NVIDIA in this day and age, especially. Def not angry enough about software. So I'm angry about software at large. Software is bad. And that's because I'm a software developer, and I know that. So I can say with 100% certainty that it's bad. Dude's about to have an aneurysm over an incorrect code call. It hasn't happened yet, and frankly, it's a miracle it hasn't happened yet. Here's the kind of problem, though. I was talking about this with somebody recently. The guy is unhinged. Linus Torvalds unhinged. And also, when he's dead,
Hey, it's time for
it's gonna be a very different world. Like, I'm gonna take a sip. Thank you, Epic Failure. Essentially, he is the necessary level of autistic about this stuff. And when he dies, I don't think that we're going to have somebody that's going to be able to replace him with the, frankly, consistency that he has. He's an ass, and he's unhinged, and he is consistently an ass and unhinged. So, like, you can trust in what he's doing being consistent. And with something like Linux, which is like the thing that runs basically all servers, consistency is important, and not letting a bunch of shitty corporations do dumb shit to the core systems of Linux is his like core thing. When he's gone, I'm not certain that we're not going to see people start to creep in and start to get a little bit more corporate ownership over all this stuff, because it's kind of just like he's standing in the way of it all. Glad to know that you won't be angry the next time we debate GIF versus GIF. I don't get angry about... I do get angry about GIF versus GIF. But it's not the debate. It's not the GIF versus GIF debate. It's the fact that I'm wasting my energy having it again. Changed my mind on the guy. Look, it's like... Who's a solid example? It's like Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is not a good guy. Gavin Newsom is crazy. But Gavin Newsom's crazy is at least understood. Like, you know what he is, and you know what his crazy is. And you know that he's gonna, like, you know that he's just seeking power, but you also know that in effort to seek power, he's happy to kill people, probably. And so you're like, okay, I understand. I get it. I understand what we're working with here. It's kind of the same way with Linus. Yeah, the Temple OS stuff that people mentioned earlier, I would love to go down a huge rabbit hole with that someday, but I don't have that in me right now. But the short version is a dude with schizophrenia made his own computer operating system in which he believed he was creating God, and God was speaking to him through a random number generator. And he would post a blog, like a vlog series, showing updates to the operating system that he was building, in which he thought that he was building the Temple of God. And in those vlogs, he was getting more and more unhinged, and it's wild. If you go on YouTube and just search Temple OS, there's a really good, I think like Down the Rabbit Hole did a video explaining all of it. It's a wild ride. Terry Davis stream when? Yeah. Huh. The internet has so many crazy stories. I love that though. And we're losing that. We're losing. I kind of feel like we're losing the most interesting shit on the internet, because all of the drama on the internet now is like mainstream. Like, the drama on the internet is mainstream bullshit and fandoms beefing. We've fallen so far. Like, it's all fandoms yelling at each other about how you're supposed to enjoy the fandom. And people trying to weigh in on conversations about absolute drivel. I think the last really good moment that we had was probably the oh God, what's it called? The salad, the antipasto salad. I think the antipasto salad was the last time that the internet had a good thing. We had a thing that we were all a part of, and that felt great. Hawk-Tua united us. Hawk-Tua was fool's gold. Hawk-Tua was fool's gold because Hawk-Tua we thought was going to unite us, and then became the lived long enough to become a villain. The what now? The antipasto salad. Oh, good. Today.com has an explainer. Very good. So it was, you may have missed this if you weren't on TikTok or something, but there was essentially a week where the very short version of this is a woman brought this fucking stellar ass antipasta salad to a get together after having recently moved to the area. When she brought this to the get together after her kid was given an invitation to the get together, she brought this, and the people who were hosting the get together were mean to her and told her to get the fuck out of their house because they're like, who are you? Why are you here? And why did you bring this? So she was like, I don't understand what just happened. Like, I'm from the Midwest. Like, I made this, maybe not Midwest. I forget where she was from, but she's like, I made this thing. She made this. She made that. She made the mozzarella in this salad. And they kicked her out. And she's like, I don't understand what's going on. And so then the entire internet was like, wait, you brought that salad to someone's house and they kicked you out? What the fuck? Like, this is so good. Like, what? This looks fucking amazing. And so, yeah, like it essentially became a huge internet pile-on of like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? What are you doing? I don't like strangers in my house unhinged. It was, as far as I understand, it was a block parties type thing. And this woman's child, like kid, made friends with that family's kid who invited them over to this block party style thing. And so she brought this beautiful fucking antipasta salad over and was told that she wasn't welcome there by someone that she didn't know. I don't remember all the fucking specifics, but potluck or cookout. Yeah. It was cookout, something like that. Or a potluck. I forget. It was essentially a hey, we're having people over. Come on over. So she made a crazy intense antipasta salad, brought it over. They got fucking mad at her, and told her to kick rocks. And the internet was like, this woman needs saving. And I believe it was Pearlmania made like a really, really, really good video in which he was like, her invitation is the antipasta salad. Did we ever get to the bottom of why they kicked her out? Let's see. Nicole says that when she walked into the party hosted by a local couple, she was immediately greeted with hostility. Less than 5 minutes later, she said another woman walked into the house and confronted her and said, "It's really rude to walk into someone's house and not introduce yourself." He's absolutely flipping outside about some stranger. Anyway, I don't know. The point I was trying to make was we need more good internet shit. In the name of Jesus, I am not a mom, but not even the government denied me of my parenting rights, so. What? Oh, sounds like when I made a human being and they took the child and kicked me out of my home. What the fuck? What the fuck? Jesus. Pearlmania reference, let's go. I get confused with Pearlmania constantly. I am constantly getting people being like, "Oh, I thought you were Pearlmania." I'm like, we are not even remotely the same. Not even kind of. I mean, I guess we're both white people with red hair, but like really stops right there, honestly. Not much more after that. You are both redheads? Yeah. I'm vegan and that's crazy. Yeah, like if somebody brought an antipasta salad over to my house, I'd be like, you can live here. You can live here, that's fine. Wear some glasses and you have your Halloween costume. I used to wear glasses. Until I got laser eyes. Best money I've ever spent. Holy crap. I remember so I got LASIK, and after I got LASIK, on the ride home, like it's so immediately effective. On the ride home, I was able to like read things far away for the first time in like 20 years. I was like trying to not cry because you're not supposed to cry for a little while afterwards. Yeah, God, LASIK was so fucking cool. Flynn's cute right now. Oh my God. Look at this dog. What a buddy. Amazing. I need to make breakfast. I'm glad I got LASIK once. I'm glad it helped you. I did not. I'm sorry it did not help you. 'Cause that's the button I wanted. Yeah, you know what's weird? What's weird to me is whenever I mention that I get LASIK, or that I got LASIK, and I tell people that LASIK is like a thing that's pretty good, there will always be someone who jumps in and is like, LASIK is so dangerous, don't do it. It kills everyone who gets it. And it's like, oh, okay, no? No. That's not the case. Very suddenly, everyone happens to know someone who either killed themselves after getting LASIK or their life is irreparably destroyed by LASIK. To me, it reads like another situation where people are afraid of the procedure and are trying to come up with reasons why they shouldn't get it. Because, yes, there have been reported cases of LASIK, like, fucking you up. There have been some people who had, like, botched LASIK that left them in a state where they were in, like, immense pain. in every one of those cases, I did so much goddamn research about this shit before doing it because I was so anxious, but in every case that LASIK resulted in someone having like awful results, they were not supposed to have gotten LASIK to begin with, and they went to multiple doctors until they found one that would do it. So like there has not been there has not been a LASIK case where it was like, you're a perfect candidate and we've done all the proper due diligence, and then the person was fucked. Like, that's just not what happens. It is so intensely safe. Like, LASIK and vasectomies are like two of the most common procedures. Like the LASIK place that I went to, it was like 15 minutes per appointment. And so the waiting room was packed. There was like 20 people in there who were all about to have their lives changed by way of being able to suddenly fucking see. And you just like go in and they laser your eyes off and then you go out. That's it. There's not even a manual process anymore. It's like entirely a machine that just does it all automatically. But when you go in, they assess you. Like, you don't just go in and get LASIK. When you go in, they assess you. They take a topographical scan of your cornea, like of your eye. And if it's not, what they're looking for essentially is enough material to be able to shave off to reshape your eye to be the correct shape for clear vision. Because what's happening is your eye is all kind of like lumpy. You know, tiny scale, but your eye is not the right shape. And so the LASIK is supposed to help get your eye back into the correct shape. So you go in, they take like a scan of your eye, they figure out if there is enough, you know, material to work with and if you're a good candidate. And if you're not a good candidate, then you should stop there. You shouldn't go further. But yeah, LASIK was incredible. This was like pre-pandemic, I think, and I still catch myself looking at things that are off in the distance, amazed that I can see it. Like, something that I still do is just look at leaves in trees, because I spent so many years of my life needing glasses, and even with the glasses, things are still pretty fuzzy far away. And if I looked at a tree, it would just be like a blur of green. And so being able to just wake up in the morning and look at a tree and see each individual leaf swaying in the wind, unreal. To this day, unbelievable. Feels fake. Hard to internalize. Excuse me, I would like one laser in my eyes, please. But yeah, I just like, whenever I've brought up this subject before and I get people lashing out at me for like spreading dangerous information by saying that LASIK is safe. You're gonna hate me for this, but I cannot imagine not being able to see. It's crazy to me how many people just can't naturally see. So like I didn't have the like a super bad prescription. Like my prescription was like relatively minor, but enough that it was obnoxious. Enough that like I would want my glasses while driving, and I would prefer to just have my glasses on. Not having to deal with that anymore and being able to see things normally is still excellent. I feel terrible for the people who have really bad vision, like legally blind without their glasses kind of vision. That shit is sad. That shit sucks. When people talk about LASIK, dead space scene, the dead space scene keeps flashing in my mind. I think the situation is the same with vasectomies, right? When you conjure up the image of LASIK, laser eye surgery, and you think about lasers being shot into your eye, you think about for a vasectomy, you think about having certain things severed, but it's just so routine. It's so routine. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people get LASIK every single day with like no complications. And like even more people get vasectomies every day. So it's just like, when you think about that, when you think about like how nonchalant the process is, it's like, okay, I can get through this. Like, it's going to be shitty for a little while, and then I'll be on the other side of it. It wasn't a comfortable experience. LASIK wasn't a lovely experience. I wouldn't want to go back and do it again for the funsies. I was very anxious. They give you, if you're anxious, they give you anxiety medication. Like, they gave me, what's it called? Dramamine, I guess. They give you like anxiety meds if you're anxious about it. Like if you're bad with eye stuff, because I never wore contacts. I can't get my fingers near my eyes. I will lose it. So I was like really, really anxious. The meds didn't do a whole lot. It kind of sucked. It wasn't comfortable. They are fucking with your eyes, and that's not fun. And it's really weird when they put the machine on and it starts doing the laser stuff. You don't feel anything, but it looks like a laser light show, like a planetarium. It's kind of neat. The worst of it, though, is that you smell your burning eye flesh. That part's weird, but it's over. It was less than diazepam. Yeah, it was probably diazepam. You're right. It was less than a minute per eye. It was so fast. Like, it was so fast. I was told it was 5 minutes per eye. That was not my experience. I laid down, and within, I want to say, in under 5 minutes, I was sitting back up and I could see. It's crazy. They actually had in the place that I went to, the doctor had a printout on the ceiling of a like smiley face that said like, you can see me. And so like when they pulled me out from under the machine, the first thing I see is a smiley face that I can now see looking back at me, which was kind of cool. I was good until you said that you could smell burning eye flesh. Look, there's nothing you can do about it, right? If you can get past the eye stuff, lasers in your eye, having to do an eye drop regimen, that part kind of sucks. If you can get past all of that, the smell is not a problem. You can literally just be like this if you want during the procedure, like, or you can ask them like stuff some tissue up your nose or something. Look, at the end of the day, I also smelled my burning testicles. At the end of the day, when I got my vasectomy, they use an element to cauterize your vas deferens, which means they cooked me up a little bit. All right. And my fucking doctor started talking about how much he loves barbecue. We started talking about our favorite barbecue restaurant. But yeah, like you smell your balls getting cooked too. So it's like there in this life, there are various things that you're going to have to smell from your body getting cooked. And you need to be okay with that. There are some times in life where you're going to smell barbecue balls and singed eyeballs. More barbecue balls, really. It's all the balls. I'm going to start winding the stream down because I'm talking about cauterizing my balls, and I feel like that's probably about as far as we need to go in this stream. Which smelled worse? That's a really, really good question. I think the eyes, but that may have been a matter of proximity. My head is closer to my eyes than it is my balls. So I think that's probably why. You can wash your balls, but you can't really wash your eyes. Yes, you can. They've got those emergency eye wash stations in like high school chemistry classes. You just need to go to a high school chemistry class and then you can wash your eyes. It's no problem. All right. I am going to wrap things up here. I am going to be streaming again on Friday. I stream every Wednesday and Friday at 11 a.m. U.S. Eastern. Later today, I don't know the exact time because it might be delayed, but later today is a new episode of Minecraft Sisyphus Edition over on my gaming channel. That's youtube.com/EndeavorAnceGames. It is a series in which I am attempting to beat Minecraft on hardcore mode, despite not really knowing how to do that. And if I die, I have to start entirely over. So if you want to catch that, that's on YouTube at my gaming channel. There are 4 episodes up already. Episode 5 goes up later today. Let's see. Anything else I want to call out? Check out my stuff. Check out my stuff. Check out I got my merch store, merch from .dev. You can go to isupport.dev if you want to find links to my Patreon, my Ko-Fi, other ways to support me, all that good stuff. And otherwise, my community, join.astral.camp, if you would like to hang out outside of stream time and all that good stuff. I'm going to head out. Here's the dog one more time. There it is. Very, very, very good. Very, very, very good. Thanks for hanging out with me today. This was a fun one, y'all. My name is Endeavorance. I'll see y'all on Friday. Take care, be well, and bye-bye.